But New York is the big stage.
Yeah.
It's the big stage. Whatever you want to be, if you want to be the biggest fashion designer, you want to be the biggest creator, the biggest real estate broker, whatever, it's here. It's here. And the saying says, if you can do it in New York, you can do it anywhere. I truly believe that.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of New York 100. I do something very different today, a very short segment, very informal, but I want to give you guys some insight on a very hot topic that's going on right now within New York State. Is New York still, I guess, a valuable place to move into? If you're someone who just wants to live here, if you're a working person, you want to think about moving here, if you own a business, should you move here or should you move out of New York? I don't know. So today we're sitting with a real estate professional, Matt. We just did a long interview. If you haven't saw that interview, make sure you check it out. But should you come to New York? Is New York still a valuable place to live? So I'm just going to ask you, Matt, before COVID-19, right? What were some of the when it came to from people selling their homes and moving out? What do you think were some of the main reasons why people were moving out of New York?
Well, I think, obviously people were retiring. New York may not be a place you want to retire unless you're super wealthy. So, there were people who were looking for a different, quality of life and have, sold their homes. They retired from work, sold their homes and moved like down south mainly. And then also I would say too, work-wise, career-wise, a lot of people move for work.
So the thing about New York is cost of living. I did the stats, pulled it up, and yeah, so what's happened to the cost of living? Okay, it's 14, all right, every single year, the cost of living goes up. The problem with that is that income and jobs, the income is going to stay the same, right? So every year, your expenses are getting, larger, yet your income might be staying the same. So what, in this new world that we're in, COVID, is it still worth people to, live in New York?
I think absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. I think it depends on what you want out of life or what you want, out of New York per se. I think it's definitely important not to be a prisoner of the moment. Okay. And by that, I mean, you see a lot of things on TV, anytime something happens, there's always like this rush decision. Everyone's like, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that. Sometimes you got to sit back and wait. You think about out of all the different recessions and things like that have happened, or pandemics or whatever, anything major, there's always a lot of good that comes out of it too,
So what about for someone like, a business owner though? They're looking at the taxes, looking at now they are, they don't need a rental space anymore, because now their business is going virtual. They're looking at their rental space and saying, no, we don't need that. Also, hiring someone in New York, now there's, what's that called? You have a higher minimum wage, right? So for someone starting a business, is it still valuable to live in New York? Is it still valuable to, have your headquarters and corporations here?
I think it depends on the business. Obviously New York City is the capital of the world, right? And so it depends on who you're doing business with and where you need to be in order to, to flourish. Like New York is a place to where if you have clients who are coming from Hong Kong, from Singapore, from Jamaica, from wherever, it's a place where people can come. There's a lot of money in New York City. And so I think it really depends on that particular business. Obviously, you have to do things that make business sense, right? But at the end of the day, too, I don't think you can always just make a decision off of one, like let's say you had 7 years and you were making money, hand over fist, right? And then you have these first, it's been 5 months or now of, this pandemic, and business is tough. Do you kind of just take your ball, and go home? I use that analogy kind of, you were a kid, you play basketball, something didn't go your way, you take your basketball and you go home. Do you do that? Or do you kind of try to stick it out and maybe you change some things and maneuver some things and then see maybe there may be a silver lining, so yeah.
I think bottom line here, we're going to keep this very short because I want to go in the comments. I want to see what you guys think. For me, I'd say that if you want to move out of New York, there's a lot of, I guess, you might save money in some areas, but you're also moving away from opportunity. Like you mentioned, New York is a conglomerate, it's a business center, it's a mecca of the world. So yeah, you may be moving away from different office spaces, but you can still be virtual. But moving away to, you know, all the opportunities, that's really, I think that's something that you have to consider. So if you were to ask me if you want to move away from New York, I'd say that, like you said, give it some time. You know, let's see how this thing interacts. I mean, obviously you can go and find cheaper solutions with your rentals, but everything else, let it play out.
Oh yeah, I agree with you 100%. You know, I think it just depends on what the person wants. But New York is the big stage. You know, it's the big stage. Whatever you want to be, you know, if you want to be the biggest fashion designer, you want to be the biggest creative, the biggest real estate broker, whatever, it's here. You know, it's here. And the saying says, if you can do it in New York, you can do it anywhere. I truly believe that. And so I believe that for those who want to be on the big stage, who want to perform, who want, you know, the competition, you really want to push yourself, I think New York is the place to be.
All right, there you have it, folks. So if you haven't already, check out our full interview, New York 100. So greatmedia.com/New York 100. Or just go on my YouTube page. You'll see that full interview. And there you have it. Go in and see if New York is valuable for you. Obviously, there's ups and downs with every decision that you make. And then you can see if it fits you, your lifestyle, your business, your career. So thanks so much. You can also reach out to Matt if you have any questions. And where can people find you at?
My Instagram is fly_agent_Matt.
Okay.
And then my email address is, again, matt@iveynorth.com. Ivey is IVEY, North, like North and South.
And Matt has helped me out through my real estate transactions. So I definitely encourage you to reach out. So thank you so much. Like and subscribe. If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you browse through more videos. Remember, be great. Cheers.